The headlines tonight: Anambra State government reassures residents of adequate provision of basic social amenities. Wife of the Anambra State Governor, Mrs. Soludo, appeals to women to sustain prayers for state. United Nations warns of food insecurity in Nigeria. The foreign scene tonight: French leader Macron to face Le Pen in French presidential election runoff. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. A very good evening to you and welcome to the news. I am Ebere Ugonna. Anambra State government has assured its citizens and residents of adequate provision of basic social amenities. Government House correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo reports that the state deputy governor, Dr. Onyeka Chukwuibezim, gave the assurance during the foundation stone laying ceremony of the Nigerian Palatine headquarters, Heart of Jesus province at Mbaoko, Awka South local government area. His report.
Deputy Governor Bezim stressed the need for Ndi Anambra, both at home and in the diaspora, to support the vision of the Professor Chukwuma Soludo government aimed at transforming Anambra into Dubai of Africa by bringing their wealth home and attract development to the state. Dr. Bezim promised that the present administration will do its best in providing security for the citizenry.
Every minute, every second counts in the life of this administration. All in the government again, provision of security and other things, road infrastructure, all that over the way achieve. I can the employment. Ndu mako enyolo. If any next year, I'm going to go emetuta with the kind of project. Over na big screen. I can go see nobody if I know. And then the first phase. Up our face here, first phase will be completed in 18 months.
It's homely during a holy mass to mark the event. The Catholic Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Dr. Paulinus Okafor, called on Christians to sustain prayers for Southeast and Nigeria at all times, noting that the situation in the country calls for divine intervention. Professor Okafor, who described as unfair how Ndi Igbo are being treated in Nigeria, frowned that some people are tackling the issue with a wrong approach.
So kainye fa kafati ndo mani ha na emenu ka itinye na ebele na ayo nda ka wata makana onwero okuchala okwu oburo gị na mmadụ nwe lọtafi na outside na tabe wu onwe na atọ wu onwe ife a na-eme ya adro ọma mana approach ya adro two wrongs can not be right. Maka inwe ike inwe good intention, nwe good reason to do something, it may be any hand.
In a remark, the Superior Palatine Society Nigeria, Reverend Father Cosmas Onwukwe, explained that the Nigeria Palatine headquarters will contain a youth center where youths will be trained in various skills, as well as church building where the spiritual needs of the people will be met, among other things. Also speaking, the traditional ruler of Mbuku community, Igwe Peter Anugu, who donated the land on which the project is being executed, said he gave his total support to the project because of its ability to drive development and create employment opportunities for the teeming youth in the area, as well as his love for the things of God. From Mbuku in Awka South Council area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The wife of the governor of Anambra State, Mrs. Nonya Soludo, has appealed to all Anambra women in and outside the state to make sustained peace in the state a priority in their prayers. Mrs. Soludo, who stated this in her address to mark the 2022 Palm Sunday, explained that all Anambra women have a responsibility to take the current security issues confronting the state to God in their supplications. Dan Ezigwe has details.
Palm Sunday as an important theological fixture in the Christian calendar, heralding death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, Mrs. Soludo said the event offers a great opportunity to those bearing arms against the state to reconcile with God and seek the path to repentance and inner peace. The governor's wife, who noted that as a mother, the current problem raises deep worries for her, just as it should for every mother in the state, called for renewed proactive approach to child raising as a way of curtailing moral decadence and social vices among youths. Mrs. Soludo also called for collective support for her husband, Professor Chukwuma Soludo's strategic approaches to ending insecurity in the state, reaffirming her firm belief in the governor's vision of a livable and prosperous Anambra state for everyone. The governor's wife also pledged to continue adding her voice to policies of social growth and lead a convergence of Anambra women and children who are keen to remodel the state. In Awka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
Anambra State Head of Service, Mrs. Theodora Igwebe, has resolved the leadership feud that has existed for a while in the Nigeria Labour Congress of the Anambra State Chapter. The misunderstanding which existed between the two divides within the Anambra State Chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress was resolved at a final meeting held recently at the conference room of the office of the Head of Service and National Union of Local Government Employees, NOGE Secretariat in Awka. We have details.
The Head of Service, Mrs. Igwebe, called for a truce, urging everyone to give peace a chance since every position one occupies should be for true service to the people. Mrs. Igwebe advised members to ensure that they allow the simple ideology of truth at all times to illuminate their minds, which she said is the prerequisite for true service to humanity and successful occupation of any public office. She recognized and appreciated the intervention of the Anambra State Labour Veterans Forum that initiated a reconciliatory process and, in her wisdom, involved all State Advisory Council members of Nigerian Labour Congress past chairman, the Joint Negotiation Council chairperson, which gave room for open and uninhibited dialogue. Mrs. Igwebe used the opportunity to commend the national body of the Nigerian Labour Congress, which sent its General Secretary, Dr. Emmanuel Obaja, who presided over the meeting. The General Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Dr. Obaja, expressed optimism and confidence in the level of wisdom with which the matter was handled, which produced Comrade Chinwe Orizu, our chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress in Anambra State. Others are Comrade Nonye Chibueze, Humphrey Nwafo, and Ifeanyi Nweke as vice chairman, and Comrade Gaius Chukwuka as secretary, while Comrade Samson Chikwelu emerged as auditor.
Catholic Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Dr. Paulinus Ezokafo, through Justice, Development and Peace Caritas (JDPC), has empowered over 35 less privileged persons with various items and cash worth over 2 million naira. Correspondent reports that out of the 35 people empowered, 11 persons received sewing machines each, while others received cash prizes at the event that took place at St. Patrick's Cathedral, Awka. His report.
Justice, Development and Peace Caritas (JDPC) is a social and charity arm of the Catholic Church through which it reaches out to numerous people in need in order to improve their standard of living. While handing over the sewing machines and cash to the beneficiaries who were selected from various parishes under Awka Catholic Diocese, Bishop Ezokafo, represented by the Chancellor of the Diocese, Very Reverend Father Charles Ndubisi, called on them to make good use of the items and cash given to them in order to improve their living conditions and impact positively on their respective communities. Bishop Ezokafo further commended the efforts of the JDPC in the diocese, especially their commitment towards improving the standard of living of the less privileged persons amongst them.
In we can know with a mother, man, on now you know you're the person about the person. So, I want you to know you're mother on now for Balulu. So, Bishop and I call all them back. Not only being with, but being for. So on yellow mado, Ibalonia fool, Metalonia of Meme. When you face on earlier, when gozi.
In his address, the director of JDPC in the diocese, Reverend Father Levi Uko, who appreciated Bishop Ezokafo for his support, urged the beneficiaries to utilize the opportunity to cater for their daily needs. He urged every parish under the diocese to create JDPC offices to enable more people benefit in subsequent empowerment programs.
To empower those who are less privileged in our society, especially those who have nobody caring for them. So we selected them from parishes in our diocese. So today we gave some sewing machine, some we gave them cash to begin petty trading business. Earlier we said we advise them that they do look out something to be doing, because not every time they'll be coming to our office begging us to help them pay school fees and so on and so forth. I think it's better we empower them so that they can use the money to begin their own business, so that they can easily help themselves when they have problems.
Speaking on behalf of the beneficiaries, Mrs. Rita Nwabueze from St. Joseph's Parish, Ebenebe, said it was a dream come true for most of them, as they could not on their own afford such equipment and cash, thanking Bishop Ezokafo and JDPC for their supports.
Onye nọchite anya bishop bulu ha bekene bujere my lord bishop na ga adele na mma na ọka diocese na aha Jesus Christ bụ enwe.
In Oka, Emmanuel Chibata, ABS News.
The 15th Pope John Paul II Memorial Lecture held at Pope John Paul II Seminary of Puno Oka South Local Government Area has highlighted the need for Africans to strike a balance between religion and modernity in order to conform to the key dynamics of sustainable development. The lecture, which has as its theme Religion, Modernity and Post-Modernity, the African Development Discourse, was to mark the 17th anniversary of the death of St. John Paul II. Onyonyagubeze has details.
In his address, Reverend Father Dr. Cyril Udebunu, rector of Pope John Paul II Major Seminary, stated that while religion can accelerate development, it can also stifle it, particularly religious extremists and fundamentalists who reject modernity and encourage a more antiquated way of life.
There are also in this narrative situations of extreme adherence to and reliance on religious beliefs at the expense of one's active involvement and contributions to matters of existence.
In a keynote speech, Reverend Father Professor Josephat Ogwejofo, who spoke on religion, African development, and sciento-technical rationality, stated that religion is linked to human terrestrial earthly existence, which is relevant to development. He did, however, point out that the importance of science should not be overlooked in the African development discourse.
Contrast this with African traditional values, what we call African or Nigerian traditional values. And that is always taking the human element into account.
Going further, Professor Joseph Abakuba, in his paper titled From Postcolonialism to Transcolonization, a focus on the role of religion and ideology in development, noted that it is unreasonable to completely abandon the Western epistemic orientation in the name of restoring the traditional orientation, because all aspects of technology are better, and that as Africans we should improve on the orientation in our way. Later, in an interview, the event's convener, Reverend Father Dr. Felix Akamonye, expressed gratitude to all who attended, saying that the presenters exceeded their expectations and that the lecture was designed to make philosophy relevant in the discourse of policies and the economy to lead to better development in Africa.
Very profitable because we publish each year the proceeds from the lecture, but this year is actually much more interesting. The presenters exceeded our expectations.
Some of the participants, including Cosmos Theory, expressed delight at the depth of knowledge garnered from the lecture, which they said has brought their horizons of the essence of
warns of food insecurity in Nigeria. Now the foreign French leader Macron to face Le Pen in French presidential election runoff. Here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo. Please stay with us.
Thank you for the rejections that taught me to keep striving. Thank you for the long hours that taught me discipline. Thank you for the knockdowns that taught me to bounce. That taught me to never give up. Thank you for making me who I am.
Our new toothpaste, Colgate Max maximum cavity protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity. Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in,
keeps cavities out.
Thank you for the rejections that taught me to keep striving. Thank you for the long hours that taught me discipline. Thank you for the knockdowns that taught me to bounce back. And for the unexpected victories that taught me to never give up. Thank you for making me who I am.
Of the news. Moving on to all national stories now. The United Nations Humanitarian Coordinator for Nigeria, Matthias Shimel, has said over 4 million Nigerians in the region are expected to face the severe pain of food insecurity in the approaching lean season. Shimel said this at an advocacy event held in Abuja on food security and nutrition in northeast Nigeria. He noted that a total of 8.4 million Nigerians would need humanitarian support in the northeast, while 4.1 million people face severe pain of food insecurity in the northeast. Shimel, however, said up to $351 million is needed to provide humanitarian support for people in northeastern Nigeria. The head of special duties, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Nadia Soso, said food security and nutrition of these affected population in the north remains a priority. And on business news, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation said it has developed a single customer view platform to be deployed to microfinance banks to eliminate delays often experienced in reimbursing depositors following revocation of failed MFB's licenses by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Managing Director and Chief Executive of the corporation, Bello Hassan, disclosed this while receiving executive members of the National Association of Microfinance Banks in Abuja. According to the NDIC boss, the corporation introduced a single customer view platform in order to strengthen its processes. He said the platform would not only ensure rendition of quality, timely and complete data to NDIC, but MFBs, but also give the complete position of depositors' data at any given time, which would go a long way in enhancing prompt reimbursement in case of bank failure. On the foreign scene, French leader Emmanuel Macron and challenger Marine Le Pen qualified for what promises to be a very tightly fought presidential election runoff on April 24, pitting a pro-European economic liberal against the far-right nationalist. With 96% of the votes counted for Sunday's first round, Macron garnered 27.41% of the votes and Le Pen 24.03%. In face of the result, other major candidates admitted defeat, and except for another far-right candidate, Eric Zemmour, they all urged voters to block the far-right in the second round. But after 5 years in power, in which his abrasive style has upset many, while Le Pen succeeded in softening her image, Macron will have to fight her to win back disgruntled voters. Le Pen, who had eaten into Macron's once commanding 10-point poll lead in recent weeks, thanks to a campaign focused on cost of living issues, said she was the one to protect the weak and unite a nation tired of its elites. And on sports news, the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development has charged the Nigerian Football Federation to set up machinery for the Federation's general elections, which are expected to hold in September this year. The ministry has also directed the NFF to set up a 3-man technical crew for the home-based Eagles and invite 30 players to the team to start preparation for upcoming competitions. Rising from a meeting with the NFF and representatives of the presidency following the country's failure to qualify for the Qatar 2022 World Cup, Sports Minister Sunday Dare expressed his determination to overhaul the country's football ecosystem. He charged the NFF to ensure that the home-based Eagles, Olympic Eagles, Flying Eagles and Golden Eaglets are adequately prepared to do the nation proud, adding that the Super Falcons, Falconets and Flamingos should not be left out as they prepare for their different international competitions. And that's it on the news tonight. But remember that you can follow news on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television, okay? Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio. Log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. We'll go tonight a quick look at our top stories. Anambra State government precedents of adequate provision of basic social. A wife of the Anambra State Governor, Mrs. Soludo, has won the food insecurity in Nigeria. And the foreign scene will brought to you that French leader Macron is to face Le Pen in French presidential election runoff. Here's a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him support for the task ahead. And that's the size of our package tonight. To join in the bulletin, I am Ebere Ugodna for the rest of your evening.
The luxurious bus proprietor wish to congratulate His Excellency Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR Rodenibo Agwata, on